So how do you become you? How do I become who I am now, right? Hey people, good morning one more time. This is Imparables, your favorite podcast. And today we're going to talk about struggles of being an immigrant and entrepreneur. And all the struggles that we go through when we came to this beautiful country. This episode number 11 of Imparables. Don't forget to check us out in our social media. So subscribe now and let's start. Okay, so today's episode, it's about how do we struggle, we immigrants, right? When we come to a country that we don't know and how to start over. And more in this country, it's completely different than most of the country that we as a Latin person come. So I can speak for the Latin people probably here. So the first thing is that you don't know. When you come to America, you don't know what to do. Like to me, I have no clue. I thought I could keep doing what I was doing in my country. So I thought that I could. If you're a lawyer, you think, oh, I want to be a lawyer here. You're a dentist, you say, I want to be a dentist here. If you are a entrepreneur, maybe you say, oh, I can do entrepreneur here. Then you hit this big wall that you say, oh my God, everything that I learned, or all the studies that I done, cannot apply here. Because, rules are different, laws are different, education systems are different. So now you are in nothing and you don't know what to do, right? And you start doing, I start doing the regular jobs that everybody tell you to do. That I didn't like, by the way, but I was a waiter, I was a busboy, I worked construction, I work in all these different, and you guys know the story, right? Works, all these jobs that to me didn't mean anything, right? But I didn't know I have an entrepreneurial spirit in me. Then I learned to sales, and you guys know the story of how it works, right? But the most important part that I want to talk today is about how these struggles define me in the meaning of push me forward, but that everybody talking to other people and other entrepreneurs that are immigrants have come together to pass it and be able to be successful. So the first struggle that I have, it was loneliness of being alone. I felt that I didn't fit in here, right? That everything was completely different, that everything was strange. So psychologically, that was a really big hit. Because I didn't know what to do or how to actually be able to if questions came, doubts came, right? How am I going to do this? Am I be able to be this? Should I go back? Shouldn't I go back? So I went through a process in which, you need to find yourself. So the first struggle that I came to is finding yourself. So how do you become you? How do I become who I am now, right? And it was a process, and you have to pass. And I passed in the looking for what to do or how to be my new me, right? Because we gotta change. I went through really difficult times in regards of work related. Like I went to construction, and I have terrible bosses, terrible people that discriminate me because I didn't speak English, right? Or I have a really, really bad accent, or because simply I wasn't the same. So then I went to try to be in the fast food industry. It didn't happen. Also, I worked long hours. I feel that I was doing the same over again, and never growing or have a path of growth, right? I work in an office, being an assistant, and I didn't really like when people yell at me or treat me less just because I didn't have an education, or just because, again, I have a different way of pronouncing the words. So all the immigrants out there probably can relate to that. So I realized that there was nothing for people like me that just came, that are self-driven, that want to do something bigger, to have a path, to have a step-by-step process in which how can we really get our true potential, or get our true self out there. So many of these years that I passed through, I really look for everything who teach me, somebody who actually mentors out there. But it took for me to understand the first thing of all, that that's how it is, and I have to accept it, or I can live crying all day. So I came to the realization that it doesn't depend on the external work or the other country, depend on me and how I look at it, and how I look for the resources to actually help me do whatever I want. Right? So how I found myself in my case was starting to sell. When I start selling, when I understand what sales are and how the possibility, opportunities that it has, it changed my world. Right? Because I could choose my own schedule, I could driven the way I wanted, but the most important that the results completely depend on me. And that was my number one step to become an entrepreneur in America. So with sales, I realized that I couldn't sell actually speaking my own language. So I started selling completely in Spanish, right? But it was my first step to become an entrepreneur, because really I was a solo man, right? I sell, I get paid, I go sell. It was really ethical. I went to different kind of sales, right? Until I found the sales that I like. But still, I realized that it was not a path for people to actually be able to meet that place in which they can decide what to do or what not to do. Because one, the economical struggle that makes you come to America and don't, know what to work or when you're gonna pay something or not. Second thing that it was struggling for me is the economic side, right? The financial spectrum. Here in America was completely different where I come from. How money is driven, how you pay bills, how taxes are occurred was completely different when I come. Besides, I come really, really young and I never understood that. So I got to learn the hard way, right? Making mistakes, right? I needed to have every month certain amount of money to pay for my bills, right? Where I come from, you never need a vehicle. Here, everybody needs a vehicle to actually move and mobilize. So my first action was to get enough money to, one, I can live comfortably, but I can buy a vehicle to start working. So second struggle that I really have was the idea of how financials works here. So I have to educate myself and start understanding how financial works here, how money works here, how do I have to pay taxes that everybody is in terror when you come here to America and you don't understand, right? What are you going to do at the end of the year? How are you going to declare your taxes? What can you declare? What not? So second, really, really most important struggle that I got through is understand money in America. The other struggle that I have, and it was really, really interesting, is when even you have family or friends, I didn't really have no one to actually talk to about what was happening to me. So I didn't have, this support system that can walk you, hey, this is what you should do, this is what the other thing that we should do. So something that to me was a very, very challenging was to find the right kind of people in which you can actually share all these doubts that you have or questions to ask, right? So one of the things that I don't know if many immigrants pass, but personally what I passed was the fact that where do I seek information? How do I look the right information? Right? How do I learn it the same way? Making mistakes. I ask for the wrong people give me wrong advice, and that advice led to wrong decisions. So for everybody that is coming to America, just find that support group. Find that place that you feel comfortable. But the most important, research. Everything is online. Every question that you can find, maybe you can actually seek it anywhere. But most important, there is really strong resources in your language if you don't speak English yet, or that you can actually find the right answer for you. And anything, just write me. I might be able to help you. So we're going to go fast forward in time, right? So I don't say everything that happened to me when I was coming here. But when I become an entrepreneur, when I become a salesman, and I start understanding that I can teach people how to sell, that I can create, a business. The other struggle that I understand, it was cultural. About punctuality, first of all. Yeah, we have a really wrong connotation about what being punctual is. So we're really, really, really good advice for you. Be completely punctual. Just show up. Just be there at the time that you should be there, and you will make really strong connections. Something that I understand here The people does not understand when you come to a new place is that you have to adapt. No, people have to adapt to you. And that includes those little details that we might not be completely fine with or tuned with. Like punctuality, sense of respect for each other, right? My cultural hit was sometimes that I talked to people, I was offending people because I was too straightforward. So just have a more expand mind, more acceptance for the culture. Don't try to seek your own place where you feel comfortable, because many people will culture whether that they're rejected instead of accepted. So the first thing, accept everything that it comes with it, be part of it, and really you're gonna have a much more interesting learning experience and really valuable life as an entrepreneur. The biggest struggle that I have a wrong idea of what is being an entrepreneur and being a business owner, right? Because what I saw as a models in my country was completely different. I saw that the business owner is the one who give all the orders, and he's fine with his big house and his big cars and his awesome vacation, right? But that was not the case, you know. I understand that being a business owner, so all the time being putting fires out instead of planning was completely the wrong way. The time that actually we can sway away from the rules and regulations and for the laws was completely wrong. It's something that many people from immigrants that come think that they can do it, right? So one of the things that I have to overcome is that way of thinking of, because I am who I am, I can do everything I want, right? And that was not the case. So I had a lot to learn. I had to learn to understand about rules and regulations. I have a lot to understand in regards of how the system work. But most important for me to understand that it's always something new to learn, is something to evolve and change. Right? This wrong idea about being a business owner in America, thinking because I did it somewhere else, I can do it here, really didn't serve me and really didn't help me to grow and expand. So I hope these struggles for you have resonate, and that you can actually learn from my experience and don't you know, pass to the same path. You know, you can make your path as an entrepreneur completely shorter. That'll be great for your success, for your learning, and for your values. So remember, 1 of every 4 entrepreneurs are immigrants. Almost 50% of entrepreneurs come from completely different places than being born in America. More than $1 billion is created by these great entrepreneurs like us. So if you have your entrepreneur mind, if you really want to change the world with your product, service, or the idea that you have, don't feel that you cannot do it. Don't feel that it's impossible. You just have to drive through it and keep going and keep pushing. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe and see you in the next episode of Imparables.